Hello boys and girls. Today we're going to be working on some addition to 3-digit numbers. If you'll turn in your books to page 327, you'll find some word problems. First off, if you take a look, I've already put in some handy dandy math mountains. Please go ahead and pause the video so you can put in some math mountains for yourself. We'll be doing some work with them, and they will be helpful in figuring out what to do with the numbers you find within your story problem. Let's take a look at our first one. Our first story problem says, Mrs. Ruth makes a display of plant and fish fossils for the library. She puts in 478 plant fossils. She puts in 67 fish fossils. How many fossils are in the display? So the first thing I need to do is I need to go ahead and I need to circle my important information. And I'm taking a look. Mrs. Ruth makes a display of plant and fish fossils for the library. I don't see any numbers in there, but it does give me an idea of what's going on. So there's two different kinds of fossils that are going to be on display. Next, the sentence says she puts in 478 plant fossils. I see 478 plant fossils. I know that 478 will be one of the numbers I'll use in my equation. Next, she puts 67 fish fossils. So I know a second number is 67, and that will be for fish fossils. So keep in mind now, I'm talking about two kinds of fossils. That means that these numbers will be going to the bottom of the math mountain. I'm not adding plant fossils to more plant fossils or fish fossils to more fish fossils. I'm taking 478 plant fossils and I'm adding 67 fish fossils. That means when I'm looking at it, my missing number is at the top. So now I have to use my handy dandy math mountain to decide what to do with my equation. Since I know both add-ins are at the bottom are the numbers that I'm looking for, that I know I'm going to be taking the number 478, and I'm going to add the number 67 to it. Please keep in mind now, we want to make sure that we do line up our ones, tens, and hundreds. Then I'm going to have my addition equation to get to the top of the math mountain. You may use whatever method works best for you, whether that is the traditional method with new groups above, or new groups below, or show all totals. For my first problem, I'm going to use new groups above. So I look in the ones place, 8 plus 7. The first question I ask myself is, will there be a new 10? And I absolutely know that without adding, it certainly will, because I'd only need 2 to add to the 8 to get a new 10. So let me think. What is 8 plus 7? Well, I know my doubles fact of 7 plus 7 is 14. And 8 is one more, so 14 plus one more would be 15. I'm going to put my new 10 right up here above the 10s, which includes that 7 and the 6. I'm going to continue adding now. I'm going to add my 10s. 1 plus 7, that's 8. And I know I'm going to get a new 100 because I'd only need 2 more to get to a new 10, which would mean, of course, a new 100. So let's see, 7, 8. 8 plus 6 is 14. I have my 4 in the tens place and a new 1 in the hundreds. And 1 plus 4 is 5. So I know that I have an answer of 545. What is my label? Let me go to my question. How many fossils? There it is, fossils. So it's not fish fossils. It's not plant fossils. It's all the fossils together. Let's go ahead and take a look at number 2. Number 2, the members of the Nature Club planted pine and birch trees this year. So again, I know what's going on. It's all about planting trees, but they're not all the same kind. There's pine and birch. There were 496 birch trees planted and 283 pine trees planted. So seeing my number 496, I know that is part of the birch trees. and 283 is the number to represent pine trees. Now I'm going to continue on looking at my question. Am I trying to find birch trees or pine trees or something else? As I read my question, how many pine and birch trees were planted in all? I found my label. It's not just trees, it's pine and birch trees. So I'm going to go ahead and write in my label. You go ahead and write in your label as well. You'll probably be quicker than me to get this done. All right, now going back to my numbers, 496 birch trees and 283 birch trees. I'm not going to add to get anything more for more pine or more birch, so I know both numbers are the add-ins of this math mountain. Leaving, of course, then, the top to be my number which I need to find. So as I grab my numbers, 496 and 283, I want to make sure that I line them up so that I can have each place value correctly aligned with the 6 and the 3 and the 1s, the 9 and the 8 in the 10s, and the 4 and the 2 in the hundreds. I know I'm adding because I got to go up that math mountain. Well, for my strategy this time, I'm going to go with the groups below. You use the strategy that works best for you. 9 plus 3, I know doesn't make a new 10, so I have just this answer of 9. I know 9, if I wanted to get to a new 10, all I need is one more. So I know I'm going to get a new 10, but really, that's in the hundreds place, so it's a new 100. 9 plus 7 is 17, and I will put my new 100 above the hundreds. 1 plus 4 is 5, and 5 plus 2 is 7. So I know my answer is 779 pine trees. Let's go ahead and take a look at number 3. The story says there are 818 ducks entered in the Rubber Duck River Race. Then 182 more are added. How many ducks are in the race now? So let me grab my pencil so I can circle the important information. I see that number of 818, and it's ducks. Then I see another number of 182 more. Well, what do they mean by more? More what? Oh, I know. Well, the whole thing is still talking about ducks. So that's 182 more ducks. Going back to my question, I find the words how many, and my label of ducks is sitting right there. So I'm going to write my label down to remember what I'm looking for. Now, boys and girls, if I have 818 ducks and there's 182 more, I already know that my add-ins are filled in. But what I'm missing, of course, is my total or sum at the top. Let's go ahead and grab the first add-in, 818, and our second add-in, 182, making our equation, lining up my 1s, the 8 and the 2, the 10s, the 1 and the 8, and the hundreds, the 8 and the 1. Then I'm going to make my addition sign, so remember what I'm doing with them, and of course draw my line to show my work underneath. For this next one, I'm going to use show all totals. Now, for show all totals, remember, if this is your method, you start in the hundreds. If you do another method, please do so and see if you get the same answer. So I'm going to start 800 plus 100 is 900. Then I have 10 plus 80 is 90. And 8 plus 2 is 10. Then I'm going to take all my totals and I'm going to add them up. Now let's see, 0 plus 0 plus 0. That's tough. No, wait, that's 0. 0 plus 9 is 9, and one more is 10. So I am actually getting a new 100. 9 plus 1 is another 10. Wait a minute. 1, 0, 0, 0. Yes, this number is called 1,000. We've looked at it before. Now, for those of you that remember, there is one more thing we need to do to write in this number to separate the hundredths place from the thousandths place. For those of you that didn't remember, we have to put a comma between the thousandths place and the hundredths place so that we separate those two place values. All right, let's do one more together. There are 189 children at Camp Sunshine. There are 375 children at Camp Bluebird. How many children are there at the two camps? Okay, well, let's see. I need to, of course, circle my important information. What is this number? 189 children. 375 children. And then I want to find my label. How many? What's the label? That's right, children. Go ahead and write in your label so you remember what you're doing and what you're looking for. Now, boys and girls, please grab your first number, 189. Of course, that's our first addend, and our second number, 375, and that is our second addend. Then we'll make our equation of 189 plus 375, making sure to line up the ones, tens, and hundreds. Go ahead and add to find the total for that one. Pause your video and come back to see your answer. Well, boys and girls, I'm going to show you what I did. I'm going to do mine using the new groups above. 9 plus 5 is 14. I have a new 10. 1 plus 8 is 9. 9 plus 7 is 16. I have a new 100. 1 plus 1 is 2. And 2 plus 3 is 5. So I have 564 children. If you need to change your answer and make any changes and fixes, please do so before going on. Taking a look at page 328 in your book, they show you as a quick reminder of 3 steps that you should use to help you when working with 3-digit numbers. Now, it doesn't matter if you are using the show all totals, new groups below, or new groups above method. You'll need to do the addition in each place value one step at a time. If you need to make a picture to help you understand your new groups, please do so as shown in the example at the top. Once you have completed this page, please go ahead and work on the form to show what you've learned about adding 3-digit numbers.